this together.
Welcome everybody to another edition of NXT on Tap, and tonight we have a full fucking house. We're coming off of a great episode of NXT Week 2 for Spring Breakin, but let's get into it. Phil, how are we doing tonight? You muted. Unmute.
Dude, one fucking job, Phil.
Didn't even know that happened, but either way, I'm super excited to be covering tonight and especially the draft picks later on.
Mike, how's it going?
If I don't choke on a Twizzler, I'm good. There we go. and a little, I was just as you asked me that question, I start swallowing Twizzler and I choke on it. I'm good.
And tonight we're graced once again by the Ginger Ninja Jaxpo. How we doing, man?
Back, bitches. I had to come thank Mike for helping me out. But I'm back, bitches.
Tonight was a surprise. He wasn't supposed to be back this week. He was supposed to be back next week. But man, yes, we're excited to have him back. We're happy that the gang is all back together. You know, it's good to go. So, real quick, before we get started on what happened this week, Phil, I want you to touch base on the women's triple threat match from the week 1 of Spring Breakin. I know none of us, besides you, have really watched it, so I want you to give your thoughts on that match.
Alrighty, got my notes down. Funny enough, the triple threat for the NXT Women's title was the first match of the night. So Roxanne Perez defending her title in a triple threat against both Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley. This was a very great way. It was a very great way to start off the match. I mean, not the match, the night really. A lot really happened. The crowd was really getting behind Tatum Paxley, which, due to the vignettes from last week, it really added a lot to her. So it gave her more of that fight, that big fight feel, and it almost kind of made you think that like Tatum Paxley actually had a shot in winning this. Besides Lyra, I think from how it ended, I think Roxanne scored a surprise roll up on Paxley to retain the title, and that's that match.
So the first thing that I want to say about this, I didn't watch it, but I went back and rewatched because I am keeping track of where the winners have come out before the match starts. So I like to keep track of the winners from the first slot, from the second slot, so forth. You don't know who came out first in this match. They're fucking with my algorithm. They were all in the ring to start the show.
Yeah, all three of them were like in the arena. All three of them were in the ring right when the show started. So yeah,
it was weird. I mean, that's not a way you typically start off a show. I mean, I did like it because it is like a different type of opening for them to do, especially for a title match. I would have preferred the entrances because I know that's what a lot of the people like, but it is what it is.
It's odd. It's odd too to open up a show without having entrances for your first match. Like I know we've seen it in the past with wrestling shows and stuff, but like nowadays, it's so weird. It's a weird way to start.
But I was surprised that Roxy kept it because I did think she was going to be getting called up to the main roster.
Same.
But I feel like they have something more in store for her, and we saw that this week on Spring Break, the episode 2. So now that we talked about that match, let's talk about the other main point from week 1, and that was the main event, and that was for the NXT North American the NXT Championship, which had Ilya Dragunov facing off against Trick Williams. I mean, this match was a fucking banger.
Banger.
For real.
I know you didn't watch it, Mike. I know it is 2 weeks late. It is a week ago already, and now there's a new episode. I do suggest going back to watch it at some point. That's how good of a match this was.
I mean,
William Ilya.
I do want to say this, that what I've seen of Ilya being the NXT champion, he did a great job as being champion. And Trick Williams looks really good with that belt. And I'm excited to see how his title reign is going to be. I am.
Yep. And then, as Vic Joseph also pointed out, with Trick pulling this win and becoming NXT champion, he is the 4th African American man to have won the NXT championship.
Yep.
Only other 3. Yeah, 4th. Biggie Langston, Keith Lee, Carmelo Hayes, Trick.
Yep. I forget that Biggie had it because I didn't watch during that time.
Yeah, that was old NXT.
I have one.
That was 2012.
Yeah.
I have one negative about the Ilya Trick match.
What's that?
A mere 72 hours before this match, I saw 2 other gentlemen power up in a corner and run at each other. I'm just saying.
And that was Ospreay Danielson, right?
Yes. I'm just saying. I don't know. It looked a little. Someone's watching the other product.
I mean, they all watch it. They all admit that. They're not like the IWC. They don't segregate everything. It's not about one or the other. It's about wrestling as a whole.
That's the only thing that's the only thing I kind of
And
like.
to me, that's not a negative.
It's not a negative. I think it's more of a, hey, y'all did it great. We're going to. It's
Correct.
a form of flattering.
Yep.
No, I just wish
we love that move there. We're going to do it on ourselves.
They're very.
I just wish they would have not put it in the match.
I get it.
They're very positive towards each other because I came across a video of Kenny Omega doing a live stream, and he talked nothing but positive about Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned something bad about Roman, and he was like, there's no ill comments on Roman Reigns in this chat. And then he just went on a tangent on positivity about Roman Reigns.
Yep.
So,
yeah. I mean, give credit where credit's due.
He did say that he wishes he was presented the same way that they presented him.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
And he said it just made it more special and memorable. So, all right, before we get into week 2, let's give some shout outs to the people that are in chat. We got the Will Gray joining us. Thank you. Lone Wolf, 00. Nice for you to be
Nightmare.
Here. Thank you. And Travis. Haven't seen him in a while. Good for coming back. We know that you like the NXT show. So now that we finished with Trick Williams and Ilya, we're going to start with Trick Williams because he was the opening segment. His promo was great up until Lash Legend came out. And then it went to, I felt like it hit a brick wall.
What is this bullshit with him and Lash Legend?
Well, I mean, they are actually dating.
Yeah, but in storyline, this started before Trick even faced Carmelo Hayes at Stand and Deliver. This happened 2 weeks before Stand and Deliver that this all started.
Yeah, I mean, also in a way, this whole conversation, it sounded like we were kind of getting these weird sexual innuendos in there too.
Yeah, and it just kept going back and forth, and then Lash was like, enough. Like, let's move on. And then she was carrying around this envelope, and we don't know what's in the envelope. Like, you came out there, you're swinging it around, you're shaking it all up, and you're talking about it, and then nothing comes from it. Like,
I don't know. She's saying it's like I know she said something along the lines of like the heat's about to come. I don't know if she, in a way, even though Battleground is coming up like very soon, but if she's talking about Heat Wave, or next thing you know, we're gonna get some random NXT segment where it's like, Trick, you are the father.
I'd fucking pop.
So, I mean,
I would fucking pop if that's the thing.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I mean, that would be hilarious. But we are getting next week on NXT, we are getting the Supernova sessions with Noam Dar and Metaphor, with Trick Williams going to be on there. So hopefully we get an answer there and they don't drag it out for too long.
No, the only correct way to start this feud or whatever this is that's going to lead into him feuding with Noam Dar is if Maury Povich reads what's in that envelope.
Exactly. That's why I made the joke.
I want Maury Povich. I don't give a shit what news it is. I want him to read it. It's the only way it's official.
So, I mean, we'll see, but I just don't like the way they're doing things. So, with that, I just want this to either get to a match or something. I don't need all this extra stuff going on for this. He just got championship, and now they're focusing on all this other stuff, and they're taking away from him having a belt.
That's true.
Yeah, Mike?
I know. I was going to say it's almost like what we've seen, and I don't mean to bring this up. It's almost like what we've seen with last week. He didn't get a mic in his hand right away. Trick did this week, but they could have done this segment so much better. I agree with you, Scalz. When she came out, this promo hit a brick wall. It did, and all the back and forth, the nonsense back and forth. Like, she could have just got right to the point of, I'm coming out here to threaten your championship run on your first week of being champion. That's it. She didn't have to go through all the other stuff.
Right.
Plus the way that she pretty much interrupted him whenever she does that. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Damn, bro. I'm awake. Fucking pterodactyl over here.
Literally.
Oh,
what's up, brother?
But after that, we finally got to our
I got a button for you for tonight, and I'm going to be long-winded for a second, just in case the other two get long-winded.
www.com.org.
That is y'all's sign, ladies and gentlemen, if they get long-winded tonight.
So let's get into our first match of the evening. This was for the North American Championship, which was Overfemi versus Ivar. And like we got in this segment before, you had a nice little segment with Ariana Grace and Gigi Dolan at a little dinner, trying to teach Gigi to be elegant and respectful. And all Gigi was doing was hyping up the matches that are happening tonight. And she said that this match was all about the big meaty men.
Like,
and
a
that's
Haas
exactly
match.
what this was. It was a Haas match. This match fucking shook the house, tore the house down. It was amazing. Mike, what was your thoughts on this match?
No, this was a great match to open up. I was excited to see this match. I thought we were going to get
on Shadow,
because we were all talking about it 2 weeks ago. I thought we were getting it sooner, but great opening match between these two. Some of the spots were just amazing feat of strength by Obafemi. Amazing. But hats off to Obafemi. I'm loving the work that he's doing. I am.
Hats off to Zachary Wentz. Like, man, come on, look at him. He's tickling that pickle with Gigi. Like, Jesus. I'm sorry, dude. Gigi's the rebel without a cause kind of thing, man. That just gets me.
It was just that thing was cool. It was just a weird. I don't want to say weird way to introduce the night, but it was entertaining. It was. It was new to me on how they did that.
I like how you did that, Scalz.
Yeah, Nightmare. I agree with you. Ivar is doing way better as a single star than he really is in a tag team. They've pushed this guy to the moon.
Tonight, there was moments where I thought he was actually going to win that belt, like just the
For
way
real.
he did, and then Obafemi, his strength that he showed tonight was amazing. Are you laughing at Will over there, chat?
Fucking ice skating with sticks.
Yeah. Will is campaigning for something on Twitter for a show for one of our friends over there, and now Shadow's like, well, now I'm changing my vote.
Hockey is just Quidditch on ice. Like, I don't feel like he's off on that though.
But
I voted zombies, Will.
The Samoan drop that he did on Ivar, and then the pop-up powerbomb, insane. Insane.
He did a pop-up powerbomb on fucking Ivar?
Yes!
Yeah, that's how the match ended.
I have to go find this on the tube.
Yeah, you definitely...
The Samoan drop, you kind of seen the right leg shaking a little bit, because that was like, that's why I said the feat of strength for Obafemi was just amazing.
Yo, honestly, when Ivar hit that doomsault, I thought his knees literally landed right on Obafemi's face. I'm like, oh my god, it's like Billy Goodman.
It landed on his when he did the moonsault, landed on his right arm.
All right, here we go.
And then you had the electric chair drop also.
The electric chair drop was like, holy shit.
Look at Jax. Look at Jax.
How is that possible?
Why am I getting
Ivar should not be able to jump that fucking high. Damn.
Ivar is a beast.
No. I've been watching Ivar since his IWGP and Ring of Honor days.
Oh,
give me like War Machine. Like, fuck this Viking Raiders shit. Just give me War Machine and let them destroy.
War Machine was amazing in NXT. I hope they do go back to that. But right now, Ivar is on a tear being a singles competitor. And I want to see gold on him. Like, that's awesome.
He deserves it as much as he's been through. Like, it's hard when your teammate gets injured. And you're kind of like, and a lot of wrestlers have said this in interviews and shit. You're kind of out in the wind. Like, shit, I'm a tag team guy. Now I got to try to be a singles guy I've never done. So hats off to him.
So we had a great match. Obafemi retains.
but
after the match, you had Josh Briggs. No, this was later on. After the match, you had Wesley's music hit. And he came down out of the crowd, and you could tell he's ready to go. This man is cleared. He's back a lot sooner than people thought. He was projected to be up about a year. He's only been about 5 months now. And there was even rumors that he might have to retire. So I'm fucking hyped to see him back in a ring.
Oh, fucking Holland.
No, Wesley.
Oh, Wesley's back. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
come on, I'm raising the W for a reason, fam.
I thought you were just like, what's saying? I was like, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much Wesley. That's what he does.
Like, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. What's up for Wesley?
That's exactly true. We do that. That is correct, Shadow. We do need Zachary Wentz back in for the Rascals.
Nash Carter, please.
Mike didn't know who he was when I brought him up earlier.
Wow.
You don't know who the Rascals are?
Will comes in with the shade saying he's the fourth best rascal.
That's because that was before I got back in Impact.
But they're big now.
God.
They're big now in
They're
Impact.
still big now.
Trey
yeah,
Miguel and,
like,
and Zachary Wentz and the other guy that's there.
His
All
Myron
three of
Reed.
them there.
time in Impact was before I got back into it. That was the discussion. You asked me if I ever seen him in Impact. I never seen him in Impact.
Yeah, but I'm saying Zachary Wentz is back in Impact now too.
But we were talking about Trey Miguel. I mean, not Trey Miguel. We were talking about Wes Lee. We weren't talking.
No, I was talking about his partner, Zachary Wentz, is what I said to you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Wes Lee.
No.
Yeah,
So our
conversation
kind of lost in translation. Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, they did
I said
drop
Wesley was
the
part of
tag
that group. They were both together in NXT.
it was
before
it
he went
was
back to TNA.
Miguel.
Yeah, well, they dropped the TNA tag titles. The tag titles are now in the hands of the System, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards.
The Rascals is Miguel, Wentz, Wesley, and
Myron Reed.
Myron Reed. Those are the OG. Those are the Rascals. But it was Lee.
Lee and Wentz
and
both
Miguel
left TNA. They left
TNA
because Miguel decided to re-sign in TNA.
Yeah,
and even right now, I don't have anywhere to watch TNA on a regular.
What do you do on What do you do starting not this Thursday? A week from this Thursday, Mike? I will fucking make a stream so you can watch TNA.
Okay, I'd appreciate it because I only get to watch their pay-per-views. I don't really get to watch their weekly because I have nowhere to watch it.
I'm an ultimate insider, sir. We will watch TNA.
Okay.
So we had that. Then you go backstage and you have Fallon Henley in the back, all upset she didn't get drafted and called up to Raw or SmackDown, and she's letting JC Jane's comments get into her head. So it's like the seeds are being planted there. After this, we had the match between JC Jane and Thea Hale. This match was good for what it was. It was a means to an end. We finally got the ending of the feud between the two. And you had Thea Hale with the victory with the Kimura lock. So what was going on after the match is where the sparks happened, though.
The magic.
You had everything was going on outside the ring. Jasmine Nix dropped Fallon Henley. You had JC Jane get busted open, bleeding everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And in the ring, Thea Hale celebrating. Fallon's in the ring with her. They go to get out. Fallon Henley grabs Thea Hale and knocks her the fuck out. And we had a heel turn by Fallon Henley.
By Fallon Henley, just out of
Was
nowhere.
not seeing this.
Right.
To answer Shadow's thing, the old lady has those, Shadow. I have to check with her tomorrow to see when she's mailing those off.
I said the Kimura lock. Sorry if it sounds like Kimura lock to you, Shadow. But
Kardashian? I love the Kardashian lock. I'm the new Excalibur. Me and Will are going to be the new
The
Excalibur.
Kardashian lock.
Were you making up names for moves?
Yeah, the Kardashian lock. Holy shit!
and as Fallon Henley left the ring, she looked over at JC Jane, and you just saw JC smile because she got what she wanted. Everybody's turning on Thea Hale
because she's too bubbly.
But then
I
again,
feel like
that's what
she's
makes
gotten a
her
lot better lately. But
I think she's got better, but she's her gimmick's too bubbly, and no one likes too much bubbly.
You're talking about Thea Hale?
Yeah.
Well,
You can only take so much.
She's either 100 or 0. There's no in between with her.
Yeah, there's no.
I've noticed that.
Found that in between.
Yeah.
After this match, we had the Good Brothers versus Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe. We had the the debut of them on NXT. It was an okay match. I mean, I'm surprised that they gave the Good Brothers the win. I thought they would have done the opposite, but yeah, Mike.
I was gonna say the way they hyped them up with the promo before this match. Normally, we see that, and you're thinking this team's gonna win, and they didn't. Like you just said, it was a surprise that the OC won this tonight. It is. Like they hyped this tag team up with this huge promo at the beginning, and they ended up losing at the end of the night. Like,
Gotta count the lights, kids. Gotta pay your dues.
yeah.
I mean, if I'm gonna be fair though, playing devil's advocate in this case, the Good Brothers are they've been drafted to SmackDown, which is probably where they're going to stay now. I feel like now that they're officially drafted onto SmackDown, they're going to go on there, and I have a feeling they're going to give Gallows and Anderson like a bit of a push. So like why go into this like new draft like with an L when you can start right now with a W, so that you've got momentum going into the tag team division on SmackDown.
That's fair.
Yeah, I get that.
Fucking Phil just makes sense.
Yes.
Holy shit.
That's fair.
What did I miss?
That's fair, but if they're gonna do it, they better do it from the jump.
Next, we had a little recap of what happened at the draft. We'll touch base on that after we go through this week.
But
So
Ava made a big announcement.
That was the next segment. Ava comes out to the ring. She starts talking about the tournament, what's going to happen in order to get a title shot for the Women's North American Championship. And it's going to be crowned at the Apex for NXT Battleground, and it's going to be in a ladder match. So starting next week, the female roster will compete in the Combine. The top 12 superstars that impress the most will go on to have 6 qualifying matches. Those 6 winners will be the entrants into the North American Championship ladder match. Now, I thought this was going to be where Julia shows up, and
It still could be.
the only way that can happen, Jax, is if there's an empty spot left for her to show up at Battleground. But I have a feeling they're going to hold off on bringing her in until after, and I think she's going to debut at Heatwave instead. After Ava spoke, you had Jada Parker come out, then Sol Ruka, and then you had Ariana Grace, and then you had a surprise. You got the queen of the ladder matches in NXT.
Oh.
Mia Yim!
Mishin came back.
Really?
Same person.
Really?
Color Jackson treat.
She's got a title her hubby won.
It is. See, that's the one he won first.
And I'm so happy that they're doing it in a ladder match, not to cut you off, Scalz, because it's paying homage and tribute to the original North American Championship.
That's exactly what she said. She said, we're going to do it the same way that the men did it for when they introduced that belt. So she said they're doing it to pay homage. And this segment, you had Mishin going back and forth with Ariana Grace until she knocked her the fuck out. And then you had a big brawl with like 40 different women in the ring. Great segment. Anybody have any thoughts on it?
I want to say it's so fucking bad.
Say it.
Is that so? Mishin's NXT now.
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Mishin is still part of OC, which
Is she though?
Yeah, she was drafted with the Good Brothers.
I don't know. I think she needs to get away from them. I think she needs to go on her own. I think she needs to go back down to NXT, and she could build herself back up.
That's fair.
Anybody have any thoughts on this segment? No.
I mean, I like the idea of the fact of Misha being down there. We've seen her in a great ladder match years ago, and she's just going to put a lot of shine on that ladder match when it comes around.
What were you gonna say, Jax?
I don't remember.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on to the next match. We have Shawn Spears versus Ridge Holland.
I'm watching this one tomorrow. Fuck you.
Funny how we have somebody who retired like 4 weeks ago, and now they're still wrestling. That was the
Super
quickest
Cena.
retirement there ever was.
No, Terry Funk still holds that record. Probably.
I don't know. He's very interesting because he still seems unsure of what he's going to do. Like he's just like, I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to get a winning streak going. I'm trying to get my confidence back and everything else. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with this. What I think will happen eventually is that he's going to be teaming up with Shawn Spears, and they're going to go run roughshod over the tag division.
I mean, if his win against Shawn Spears didn't give him a little bit of confidence tonight, had to have a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Bazinga.
Confidence.
Bazinga.
I figured it out. Rich Holland is going to be Shawn Spears' Wardlow.
Ooh.
Remember how he was doing the Wardlow thing in AEW before he left?
Mm-hmm.
I could see him like being the dude that goes, "Let me take you under my wing. Let me help you."
Okay. Wouldn't be against that.
That makes sure Holland doesn't injure anyone, like kayfabe wise and shit like that. I could,
Mm-hmm.
but gets mad at it, like I can't control him, so he just like flips out and walks away.
Anything to add, Phil?
As far as the Shawn Spears versus Ridge Holland, a very very solid match overall. Ridge got a pretty well deserved win out of this one, I'd say. Solid.
All right. After this segment, we had Roxanne Perez talking to Ava in the back, and I don't know. I feel like I hear less crying on a 6-month-old baby that doesn't know how to speak. Roxanne Perez was just whining and crying about every little thing. She didn't let Ava talk at all. She didn't let her say anything to her. And she's blaming Ava for not being drafted. Not realizing that, as Ava said, champions were protected.
Yeah.
That Roxy couldn't go.
Roxy.
That's why Ilya had to drop the belt. Now it all makes sense. The fucking needles are starting to connect. Oh.
So it's like, and then Ava was trying to tell her about her next opponent, and Roxanne didn't want to hear it and said, "I don't have time for this," and walked away.
Yeah.
After that, you had Ivar in the medical trainer's room getting checked out. He's saying he's okay. Here comes Jock Briggs saying thank you for softening up over Femi for him. He's medically cleared to compete. He's going to go after to try and win the North American Championship now. Then you have Wes Lee joining the conversation. He asking if Ivar's okay, and then he says he's coming back to get his title. Briggs is not there for Wes jumping the line, everything else. And Wes is like, I'm not going to jump the line. I'm going to beat you for the chance. So next week, we're going to have Wes Lee versus Josh Briggs.
I'm so fucking happy. Fucking love Wesley, man. I love me a fellow man of the herb.
Anybody else want to add anything to this segment that happened backstage?
I know Ivar also said I still have business with Oba as well, and then that's that kind of just led into him just staying in the back while Thea was kind of being walked back to the the medical area.
I was just going to bring that up. That was the next thing. You saw Thea Hale and Chase U come into the back and start talking. And then it led up into later on, you have Ridge Holland talking to Andre Chase, and it seems like something's going on there too. So a lot of things going on behind the scenes, making it more interesting. Next, we head into the Tag Team Championship match between Supersonic Duo and the Authors of Pain.
Is that their fucking name?
Yeah, Supersonic Duo.
No
Basically,
shit.
Yeah, honestly,
That's dumb as fuck.
I don't know,
But they're
Jack.
superheroes.
I prefer the superheroes, but oh well.
Mike, what do you think of this match?
I'll take 2 months off.
Oh, this was a good match. I didn't expect AOP to win this, especially with them going to Raw. And I said it last night, and I'm going to say it again tonight, that with this draft, WWE really set themselves up to putting on a great feud between two factions of the Final Testament and the Judgment Day. Like, they could do something great with that. But didn't expect AOP to win this match. It was a great match overall, though. And New Catch Republic getting involved to help out to win that match sets up for the AOP's possible first feud on Raw.
Yeah, there's lots of things that happen
true.
with this.
That is true. I mean, and then what was it? Supersonic Duo also got the advice from freaking Street Profits in the back.
Yeah, they got the profit advice from them earlier in the night.
Montez just makes me crack up. Like, he literally just said, like, yeah, see, I watched the product. He's the best.
But it was it was a really good match going on. You had surprising moments in it. You had times when you thought AOP was actually going to win. You had some good false finishes, but then you had the New Catch Republic show up and aid AOP, aid Supersonic Duo in retaining their titles.
Supersonic Duo.
Then we get to the main event. And let me tell you, this is everything that Raw Underground should have been. The way that they presented this tonight and the way that they did this match was fucking awesome. They need to do these more often. Now, I don't want them doing it an every week thing, but when it calls for it, this needs something that they should be introducing into the feuds. Mike, what do you think?
I do want to say this. When they tried doing it back for Raw, when they called it Raw Underground, just thinking about the times we were in. This was around the beginning of the pandemic, okay? And during Raw, we got some live matches that were, taped, storyline stuff that was taped. And then we got some matches that happened at WrestleMania, like past WrestleManias and stuff. And then Raw Underground was initially the last half hour of the show, okay? Also, as many superstars that were around the ring tonight, you didn't have that for Raw Underground. Like, you had a little less. So I think they did the best that they could for Raw Underground, and they amped it up for NXT Underground, and they made it a lot better here. And they had a lot more time to plan it out because they took it away. They took away the Raw Underground, took all this time to plan this out for tonight, and I agree with you. They can do this a lot more, but make it like a special attraction type thing, like a blow up to a storyline that needs it.
So I will say that they could have done this with Raw Underground. It's just they were handcuffed for what they were allowing them to do within the match.
Yeah.
Because the setup was there. Yes, they didn't have enough people on the outside like they did tonight, but still. It was still the way that everything was set up, you still could have done it. It's just that they handcuffed them in regards to the moves and everything they could do in the match. Phil, what do you think?
As far as the underground match, again, like you said, this is everything that the original underground should have been. Right from the jump, I was figuring Lola Vice was going to get the win already, as Natalia's going to be basically moving up to Raw after once Backlash is over with. It was still it was a very good match just throughout in general. Like especially with the added the added of corner women in Shayna Baszler and Carmen Petrovich. They both really played a key role in the match as well. And
Yeah, they definitely added to the match. I like what they did with them.
Absolutely. And honestly, I feel like if it wasn't for the corner women, basically, it wouldn't have been like it wouldn't have had this big of an impact. And I feel like it would have been a very lackluster. So yeah, honestly, great match, very good match overall.
Jax, any thoughts on this match? I know this was one of the few things that you actually watched.
I love Josh Barnett. I'm sorry. No, Lola Vice looks totally different with her hair the way it like braided and everything.
Like the way, yeah, instead of having it out and everything.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Lola Vice, I didn't like her at first. She's grown on me, and I think what they were saying on commentary is not too far off. She might be the next face of the women's division.
I can agree with that statement. I don't know, like it was funny how you said she looked really different with her hair braided back. Is it just me, or is it like every time we see Lola Vice, she always looks completely different from like any other time she's had a match or something else like that? She always looks very, very different every time.
She keeps changing it up. She doesn't want to be the same.
Exactly, yeah, and I have nothing but respect for that, but it's like it's just something very different almost every single time. But I don't find that a problem. It's just something I've noticed.
Any final thoughts on Spring Break in week 2?
I do want to say one thing real quick in regards to Roxanne Perez. Because she's catching a lot of people aren't a fan of the fact that she's a heel right now. People aren't a fan of her heel work. And I think she needs to grow into it. It hasn't been a long time that she's been a heel, and it's going to probably take her a little bit, because if you go back to somebody like an Alexa Bliss in real life, she's a complete sweetheart. She's even admitted that she doesn't remember having like a mean bone in her body, and it was hard for her to be a heel, but she naturally grew into it. I think for Roxanne Perez, she's got to grow into it a little bit. I think we're going to start seeing her progress and get better as a heel as time goes on.
I feel like she's done a great job in the heel aspect.
Yeah.
I just don't like the windiness of her, the way she's doing right now. That's the
She's
big
too
thing.
whiny.
She's trying too hard to be like that type of person that's arguing with something that she doesn't like. She's going from one extreme to the other with it. That's just the one thing I don't like about what her heel character is right now.
I see that. I personally, I'm loving the heel Roxy, and I think we're in a generation of all wrestling where we're seeing people be portrayed heels that normally have not been heels. But I'm enjoying it. I've seen her work as a baby face. She does a great job at it. But I'm enjoying her heel work. I love watching her grow and evolve into something different.
So Ava finally caught up with Roxy again at the end after NXT Underground, and Ava tells her that she is going to be fighting next week, and she will be defending her title in a match. And she said it's going to be against this person here. and out comes Chelsea Green. Now,
What are you?
when I say I am a fan of Chelsea Green, I am a fan. I'm excited to see her on NXT. I want to see her win a singles championship. Great. But what the hell was she wearing tonight?
30 minutes, Mike's quiet. First thing he says, what the fuck is she wearing?
Yeah, he was sitting there for 20 minutes doing whatever he was doing. He looks up at the screen and goes, what the fuck is she wearing?
I was talking to my daughter.
Yeah,
I know, I'm
just
saying, but
straight
like
up,
you went
what
like,
the fuck is she
that's the
wearing?
first thing he said. We didn't realize he was back, nothing. She looked like a fucking, just like, I don't
Those
even
are her
know.
way of saying I'm a package and I'm putting a bow on it coming down to NXT.
Yeah, like it
That's
was
exactly what it
fucking
is.
something.
She's calling herself a package and she put a bow on top of it. I don't know. Had me baffled.
But I'm excited for that match. I love Chelsea Green in the ring. I think she's great. And having her work with Roxanne is just going to be amazing. All right.
I'm excited for Wesley back.
I am too, Jax. All right, Phil, where can we find you?
Alrighty. So for the ladies and gentlemen that have made it around to the end and still enjoy seeing this beautiful face gracing your screen, you can follow me on X, Insta, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, basically all the social medias under the name you see right down here, Phil the Future. You can find me here every Tuesday night for NXT on tap. You can see you'll catch me occasionally on Thursdays for the Rivet City Radio Boss Bitch Trivia Hour. I am still your reigning, defending, undisputed Boss Bitch Trivia champion. I'm accepting any challengers. So if you want to, I'm all ears. And yeah, that's all from me.
Jax?
You can now find me back here every Tuesday for NXT on tap, every Sunday over on Rivet City Radio for bot spots and chair shots. Saturdays over on YouTube at Boyfriend Time for our little podcast we do over there. Anywhere else, follow me on Twitter, Jaxbo2020. Hit the link tree, find all my shenanigans and bullshit. It's my spiel.
Mike?
Yeah, Metal Mike 714 all across the socials, X, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. As far as on the networks here, every Monday night for the table spot right after Raw at 11:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On the Boom every Wednesday night at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time after AEW Dynamite, and every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Rivet City Red Zone. We got an awesome show planned for this Sunday. We're going to be giving our grades for every team for the draft that happened this past weekend. We're going to be talking about where we think the quarterbacks that got drafted out of this class are going to be in the next 5 years, and we're going to be talking UFL. And also, I'm working on my next article for LWOsports.com. No free shoutouts for LWOsports.com, but I write Eagles content, so I'm working on my next article and hoping to have that out by next week. Appreciate you guys for having me here on NXT on Tap. It's been fun, and sure I'll be back here sometime in the future. But thank you, appreciate it.
Did we turn you into an NXT fan?
Yes. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing on NXT. I'm still learning, obviously. I still have a lot to learn, but I'll get there. I will. But I am a fan.
Let's go.
So, like I always say, NXT is the best weekly show, period. If you have not watched it, you need to, because it will turn you into a fan of this program. It does get you built, and it gets you invested in the superstars that are on NXT, and then you get to follow them when they do get called up to the main roster. I am Scalz. Thank you again for stopping by tonight. You can find me here on Off the Top Media, Twitch, and YouTube, as well as Off the Top Media _ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find me here, NXT on tap every Tuesday, as well as Friday Night Review on right after SmackDown, on both, usually on the Twitch as well as sometimes on Twitter. I hope you all have a great evening. And thank you again for stopping by. We'll see you again soon.